You changed everything for this person, and now all they can think about is repaying you. You may not have realized it, but you were essential. At the right moment, you said what they needed to hear. You did what no one else did. You were there when the rest of the world seemed distant. Now this person understands they've grown, changed, and found a path, all because of you. They look back and see you as the pivotal piece of everything they've achieved. And now they just want to thank you, in a way you never expected. Are you ready for this turnaround? You might not have noticed, but everything you did made a real impact. Every word you said, every gesture, every action, even the ones that seemed small or insignificant. This person was lost, trapped in doubts and lacking the strength to move forward. But then you came along. You offered something they couldn't find in anyone else. Your presence, your attention, a look that said, "I see you." These weren't empty promises. They weren't pretty words thrown to the wind. It was something real. And now, everything has changed. This person has grown, evolved, and found strength where there was once only darkness. But inside them, there's something they can't ignore, the desire to give back to you. They think about this every day. They ponder what their life would be like without you, what might have happened if they hadn't heard your words at that exact moment, if you hadn't reached out, even without realizing how necessary that was. But now the question arises, do you have any idea of the magnitude of this gratitude? Do you know how essential you were? Or do you think it was just another ordinary day, another gesture forgotten in time? Because for this person it wasn't. And now they need to do something. They need to return in some way everything they received, even though you didn't expect anything in return. But are you ready for that? Because it's not just a simple thank you. It's not an empty gesture. It's something deep, something strong, that can change everything again, this time for you. She wants to talk to you, look into your eyes and say things you may have never heard before. She wants to show you through her actions that none of this has gone unnoticed. And you, what will you do when this person shows up, when the unexpected knocks on your door? This isn't a favor to be repaid. It's not a debt to be settled. It's something bigger, something that comes from the heart. Because some people just change our lives, and you changed hers. And now she wants to change yours. She has already made her decision. It doesn't matter how much time has passed. It doesn't matter if life has taken different paths, if the days have become hectic, or if you've grown distant without realizing it. Inside her, the gratitude has grown, strengthened, transformed into something impossible to ignore. Now all she wants is for you to know. But will you listen? Will you understand the depth of this? She has rehearsed 1,000 times how to start this conversation. She thought about sending a message, calling you suddenly, or just showing up. But nothing seems sufficient to express what she feels. Because it's not just a thank you. It's not something that can be said in a few words. She wants you to realize the impact you've had. She wants you to feel, even if just for a moment, the same way she felt. Have you ever stopped to think about how many lives you've touched without knowing? How many people were inspired by you? How many paths were altered by a single gesture of yours? She has stopped, and she understood that she couldn't move on without telling you this. Maybe you weren't expecting it. Maybe you think you were just someone who crossed her path for a brief moment, with little importance. But for her, it wasn't like that. She remembers exactly the day, the moment. She remembers what you said, how you said it. She remembers your expression, the tone of your voice, the way you made everything seem a little lighter. And it was there that things started to change. Now she wants you to feel what it's like to be seen in the same way, because sometimes those who light the way for others forget that they also need light. Those who give strength often don't realize how much they too need to be uplifted. And that's exactly what she wants to do. She wants you to know what it meant. She wants you to understand the impact it made. And more than that, she wants to give back, but not with empty words, with presence, with truth, with something you didn't even know you needed. And when that moment comes, when this person stands before you, with everything she feels overflowing in her eyes, you will know that nothing was in vain, that every gesture had a purpose, and that sometimes the good we do without expecting anything in return comes back to us in ways we could never imagine. Are you ready for that? She's already on her way. You might feel something strange in the air, as if a change is coming. Or perhaps you won't notice anything at all, just going about your routine, unaware that someone is about to meet you with something that could change everything. But this person, who carries this gratitude in her heart, has already made up her mind. She doesn't want to put it off any longer. She doesn't want life to distract her for the days to go by, leaving this truth forgotten. She doesn't want to live with the regret of not having said what needed to be said. She's already imagined your reaction. She's wondered if you will be surprised, if you will grasp the weight of what she feels, if you will recall the moments that were unforgettable for her, but perhaps were just natural gestures for you, because for you it may have been just another day, just a conversation, just an action you took without expecting anything in return. But for her it was everything. It was what prevented a mistake, what brought back a hope that was fading, what allowed her to see a path where before there was only emptiness. And now she wants you to feel the same impact. She wants to meet you and look into your eyes. She wants you to realize that not everything we do gets lost in time. Sometimes the gestures that seem small become immeasurable for those who receive them. And then she arrives. It might be sudden, without warning, without a clear reason, or perhaps she chooses a special moment, something symbolic, a setting that represents everything that has changed within her. But when that moment happens, when that person is there in front of you ready to return what she received, you will notice something. You will realize that life has mysterious ways of reminding us of what truly matters, that the kindness we spread finds its way back to us, that genuine gratitude never goes away, and that, without even noticing, you have been a point of light in someone's life. And now that light is coming back to you. Will you accept it? She is right there in front of you. You feel that something different is happening. There's an intensity in her gaze, something that cannot be explained with simple words. But before you can say anything, she takes the initiative. Her voice doesn't tremble because the decision has already been made. But there is emotion. There is something deep there, something you don't see every day. She starts to speak, and as the words flow, you begin to understand. She talks about the exact moment everything changed for her, that instant which might have gone unnoticed by you, but for her was a turning point. She describes how you made a difference, how something you said did or simply showed her helped her see something she hadn't seen before, how that stayed inside her, growing, transforming the way she thinks, acts, and is. And now, after everything, after the time that has passed, she couldn't move on without telling you this. Because ignoring that feeling would be like denying the importance of what she experienced. She looks into your eyes and says with all the words, "If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here." The weight of those words hits you in a way you didn't expect, because you never imagined how essential you were. You never realized that without that small gesture, that simple act, things could have turned out very differently for her. And for the first time, you feel the impact of what you did. Maybe a part of you tries to downplay it. Maybe you tell yourself it was nothing, that you just did what anyone else would do, but she won't accept that answer. Because it wasn't just anyone. It was you. And now that person stands before you, not just to say thank you, but to give back. Not with empty words, not with passing gratitude. She wants to be there for you, just as you were for her. She wants to offer you something real, something that goes beyond mere acknowledgement. And then the decisive moment arrives. What do? Do you accept this reciprocation? Let that exchange happen. Let that connection strengthen. Let this story continue to be written? Or do you let life go on its course, allowing this gratitude to remain only in words, without transforming into something greater? The choice is yours. But one thing is certain. You changed a life. And now, that life wants to change yours. Silence hangs in the air for a moment. You feel the weight of what you just heard. Words filled with truth, with emotion, with something that cannot be ignored. This person stands before you, opening her heart in a rare way, without barriers, without reservations. And now, you realize this isn't just any conversation. It's not a trivial thank you, an empty gratitude. It's something profound, something that carries time, transformation, meaning. She's not there just to say thank you. She's there to show you that what you did had a real impact. And more than that, she wants to give back to you. But give back what? Perhaps it's the same strength that you once gave her. Maybe it's the presence that, without you even realizing it, became essential for her to move forward. Perhaps it's simply the certainty that you are not alone on this journey. She wants to give back with what now overflows within her. It could be loyalty, it could be unconditional support, or it could be the silent promise that just as you were there for her, now she will be there for you. And then you feel it. You feel that this is not an empty return. You sense that this person truly cares about you, not because she owes anything, not because she feels obligated, but because she wants to, because she recognizes your worth, because she knows who you are, knows what you've done, and now she wants you to understand what it means to be important to someone. She's waiting for your response. And in this moment, what will you choose? Will you ignore it, smile, and move on as if it's no big deal? Will you pretend it was nothing? Or will you accept this rare gift that life is placing before you? Because sometimes, those who have always been a strength for others need for the first time to let someone be their strength. And now this person wants to be that strength for you. Will you allow it? Time seems to slow down. This person remains there, steady, waiting for your response. There's no rush, no pressure, just the raw and honest truth of what has been said. You feel a lump in your throat, because deep down you never imagined that something you did, something you said, could bring about such a significant change. You never paused to think that your presence, your words, your actions really shaped someone's path. And now, this person stands before you, not asking for anything, but offering everything. You notice her gaze, filled with conviction, carrying something that cannot be faked. There are no doubts there. She didn't come out of obligation. She doesn't just want to express gratitude and then disappear. She wants to be present. She wants to show, just like you once did, that no one walks this path alone. And for a moment you wonder, how long have you been walking alone without realizing it? Always helping, always supporting, always being the strength that others needed. But what about you? Who has been your strength? Maybe you've never allowed anyone to take that place. Maybe you've learned to be strong alone, to carry everything without sharing the weight. But now for the first time, someone is looking at you and saying, "I'm here for you." And that in it strikes a chord within you that had been forgotten. What do you do now? Do you pull back, afraid to allow yourself to feel? Or do you accept what is being offered? Because for the first time, it's not about what you can do for others. It's about what someone wants to do for you. And that choice, only you can make. So do you accept? Or do you let this person walk away carrying a feeling that will never have a place to go? The air is heavy between you. You sense that this moment is unusual. It's not something that repeats, something that can be postponed. There's something definitive here, something that can change the course of things depending on your response. And then you hesitate, because accepting what this person is offering means lowering your guard. It means admitting that yes, you need too. You also feel, you also carry things inside you that, for a long time, you haven't had anyone to share with. But now someone is willing to stand by your side, and this person won't leave if you allow it. They have already decided. They want to be present in your life just as you once were in theirs. And then you face this truth. It might feel strange because you've gotten used to being the one who gives, who supports, who strengthens. It has always been easier to be the pillar for others than to accept that you need one too. But what if this time you accepted? What if for the first time you allowed someone to offer you what you have always given to the world? That person is still there. They don't push. They don't demand anything. They just wait, because they know that this kind of thing cannot be forced. It needs to be accepted. And then the moment arrives, you can pull away, you can say that everything's fine, that there's no need. You can smile, thank them, and continue as if this hasn't stirred something within you, or you can take a step forward. You can look into that person's eyes and let them see something that perhaps no one has ever seen in you. Because in the end, accepting care is not a weakness, it's courage. And now, what do you choose? Because that person isn't going to wait forever. They came to give you something real, but only you can decide if you will receive it. The choice is yours. Will you accept it or let it pass? Share your thoughts, subscribe and leave a like.